Hello, my name is Wilhelm, and I realized this morning it is that time of year. There is a crisp chill in the air, something electrifying and exciting. There's a feeling of change. There are colors changing, and in some cases we see some true colors coming out. I'm not talking about going on a fall hike, I'm talking about the election season. We know that we're hearing a lot about how to best reach the American dream and a lot of rhetoric on both sides of the fence. But we all know that in this room, there is a little oasis in our town called the Catherine McCully Center that truly does work towards the American dream, irregardless of whether it's a political season or not. They're doing it year-round. Whether you're part of the 1% or the 99%, or you're part of the 47%, or whether you're part of some other percent that some politician has said is some important percentage, when you walk through the door as a tutor or a student, or I should say as a tutor/student or a student/teacher, those percentages are erased. In fact, I find the boundary between tutor and student to be somewhat erased too. I have learned so much as a tutor, having the opportunity to work with students at Catherine McCully Center. It's been about 6.5-ish years since I found the place. I found Catherine McCully Center at a time in my life when I had recently left classroom teaching, one of those quote-unquote burnout teachers. I taught for a while in a elementary classroom and had found some frustration and difficulty. And I needed a place to feel smart and useful. And by gosh, I found it there. I've worked with students from many countries, Italy, the Ukraine, Somalia, Guatemala, El Salvador, Peru, Mexico, Laos, North Korea, South Korea. I've worked the gamut. I'm waiting for an Arctic explorer, or an explorer from a base in Antarctica, and perhaps an Australian who needs to work on their American English, and then I'll have all 7 continents. But that hasn't happened yet. I've worked with students who are in their 70s and 80s, as well as students who are 19 or 20 years old. Some of the students I've worked with are working on their 3rd or 4th language. They have other languages under their belt. They perhaps have advanced degrees, and they're in Cedar Rapids in a very technical field. Other students I've worked with have just a few years of very basic education, and just writing their name with a pencil is a feat. So I've worked with all kinds of people from all different walks of life, all different areas of the globe. But the one thing that is always at the heart of everything in Catherine McCully is the idea of creating a relationship between the tutor and the student. Because our lessons are always one-on-one, it allows the student and the teacher over time not just to work out of a workbook, not just to do exercises and improve English fluency, but to really get to know each other and see some growth. I've been really blessed to have met some individuals I would have never had a chance to meet in my life. I've worked with a gentleman in his 80s and came to find out through gradually looking at the newspaper and at first just looking at the icons of the weather on the page with the weather and talking about how the weather was, to gradually over a few years developing his English. We got to a point where we could actually have some conversations. And I came to learn that this gentleman had grown up in North Korea and then under the Japanese had been forced to learn Japanese as a second language in elementary school under the Japanese. And then as a young adult, when the communists came to North Korea, he moved to South Korea, but the rest of his family stayed in North Korea, and he had never seen them since and talked about his family. And we had times where he shed some tears, and I got to know his story. And all of that, through him working hard, and coming every Saturday and other times during the week with other tutors and just working on his English. I would have never had that experience without the center. I've seen students grow in their English that's helped them in their work. One of my students was a young man who at the factory he worked at was actually the most bilingual member of the team, management included. And he was actually a go-between between his workers, his co-workers, and management. And he was the most fluent in both languages and able to make a better work environment for himself and management and his co-workers who spoke Spanish. And it was truly a beautiful thing to hear him talk about that and know that the confidence and the English fluency he developed to be able to fill that role, he had acquired at Captain McCullough's Center. And then simple things like stopping in at a drugstore and seeing a student that I'd only had an opportunity to work with a few times as a substitute, but there she was with a smile on her face and proud to bring up my purchase and use her English. And thankfully there was nobody behind me in a line so that we could just take a few minutes and we could talk. To see all of that in action in our community, we know that one-on-one, one lesson at a time, one student at a time, this place is making a difference. It is helping. And it is truly a blessing to see that. Every time I tutor, there are a few smiles, there's a few laughs, every now and then there's a few tears. And it's always an opportunity for myself and the student to grow as both student and teacher, each of us, and to just feel a lot more confident and a lot more smart and useful. And that's what it's given me.
Hi, this is Hyeonmi, and I prepare for my paper. Before I read my paper, I would like to say thanks to Mike, because he was the one who encouraged me to read book, actually book in English. I like to read book in Korean, but I never tried before. But he encouraged me to read like middle school age book, and then now I'm able to read like bestseller now. So honestly I don't understand everything, but I just read through it. So thank you. My name is Hyeonmi Shin. I came here from South Korea 4 years ago. The first year when I came in the US, I could only say in English, hello, how are you, yes or no. Someone might think I was 2 or 3 years old, and I mostly guessed what people were saying to me. But I didn't really understand. I wasn't able to communicate well. I was a housewife, but I needed to interact with people for my 2 boys' school life. I have 2 boys. They are 13 and 9 years old. So my strongest motivation to study English hard was when I realized that nobody was there for my boys. So CMC helped me to learn real English and encouraged me to try. They inspired me with making goals for my personal life and showed me how we can share with others. CMC provided not only tutors for my English, they gave me confidence and courage to get a new job. They held me steady when I faced some problem. They were my best teachers, friends, role models, and even lawyers. CMC means everything to me, like you see. They helped me to my big change of life in the US. I'm not able to share completely what I have experienced with you right now, but I can tell you I feel honored to be here and thankful to CMC. I've changed my job as my English skills have gotten better. I hope to continue to grow professionally as my English improves. And I also hope you see me as a volunteer tutor at the CMC someday soon. This will be my next goal because I want to help others too, just like you. I always tell people how helpful CMC is. Whoever I meet that doesn't speak English well, I recommend them to go CMC to take a class. I'm sure CMC need more tutors because of me. Thank you for making me and all of us feel happy in here, and I really appreciate education team, and also I'm glad that I've got a chance to say thank you here. Thank you.